Hello and good day. Welcome to Passionately Intrigued Arts, and this is Tracy. Today is not going to be a traditional crafting day. Um, I create gifts, so gifts of all kinds, for all occasions, all genders, and sometimes I create gifts to give to my customers or to my family, whoever I may choose, depending on what the gift is. And so, with all that being said, I would like to I have extra strawberries. And you know I don't like to waste anything. You should know that by now. I don't. And so I have about a pound or so of strawberries, and I don't want to eat them. I've had enough. I used them for what I needed to use them for. And so I want to make some strawberry jam. And the strawberry jam I'm using without the pectin. I'm not doing the canning method on top of the stove or anything like that. And put them in half pint jars, mason jars, and they will last in your refrigerator. I didn't freeze mine, but they will last in your refrigerator for up to 6 months. So I just want to show you a little process that I do to make these um, jars of jam. And you don't have to use strawberries, but I'm using strawberries. You can use blueberries, you can use peaches, you can use any type of fruit that you really like. Not bananas, but yeah, you know what I mean. Berries, plums, things of that nature. So let me get everything prepared and don't go anywhere. Come back, okay? You don't have to wait long. Just hold on. My strawberries have been washed and I put them in a strainer with a bowl underneath so that all the excess water can drip to the bottom. And in preparing anything for someone other than yourself, use gloves. So these will have to be whole. Now you can use a knife and cut them off, or you can use a melon. I use this melon baller, and I just scoop the leaves off. So you'll scoop all the leaves off, and then when you get through with this process, which is going to take me a little minute, not long, but I'm not going to do the whole 9 yards on here. It's very easy. Oh, have I been in the camera? Gee whiz, always the case. Scoop them off, pull off that little leaf. Haul it like that, or like I said, you can use a knife and just cut across. I'll do a couple more. Very, very easy. Some people even use a straw and you stick it in the bottom. You stick it in the bottom of the strawberry and push the leaves right off. So I'll do this one and then I'll show you. I'll have to finish the rest off camera, but then I'll show you what I do to cut them up. I use the same melon baller. Get my pot because I'm going to cook these on the stove. And if you have your knife, then you just cut them up. If you don't have, if you're using this melon baller, it's so easy to just cut them in little pieces like this with this baller, with this melon baller. And so I just cut the strawberry up with the baller until I get all these little pieces from the strawberries done. So let me finish that process in taking the hulls off of the strawberries and then chopping them up with this melon baller, and I will return to show you the next step. I'm done hauling and cutting up the strawberries, and they made a little bit of juice in here. So what you do now, you can use a fork, which takes too long, but I use a potato masher, and you mash your strawberries up. You want chunks because this is going to be jam, but you don't want chunks this big, so you mash it up pretty good. And then after you mash it, you add a cup of water, and for this amount, about a cup of sugar. Depending on how sweet you want it, it could be a cup or a little less. I don't like mine very sweet. And you don't want it too mushy, but you do want to make these pieces much smaller than what they were. I think that's pretty good. And if not, you can still mash them a little more once you get it on the stove. But I think that's pretty good. So then you add your cup of water and you add your sugar. And I try to stay away from sugar as much as I can. So I always use a sugar substitute, which is stevia. And stevia is a natural sweetener. It grows in the wilderness and they make it. It's not like Equal and Splenda and the others. So in measuring stevia, you use the same parts as you would sugar. So it's 1 cup of regular sugar. You would use 1 cup of the stevia. I'm going to use just a little less than that because I don't, well, this is not going to be, well, I am going to keep a jar probably. But still, that's I don't want that much. Almost a cup. And you just stir that up. Then you take it to your stove and put it on medium-high until it comes to a boil. You have to continually stir because the candy, I'm sorry, not the candy, the sugar caramelizes. So if you boil for too long or if it gets too hot, it can crystallize into like a candy and then it's just a wrap when it comes to making jam. So I've got that stirred in pretty good. We'll take it to the stove, put it on medium-high, and once it comes to a boil, I bring it back. But you have to simmer it for probably up to ½ hour, 45 minutes. So let me go to the stove. Let me turn the stove on and get this going. I brought the mixture to a boil, a rolling boil, and I have it set on medium-high. And what I'm going to do is cut it down just a little bit. Just a little bit. And you have to constantly stir. And what I failed to tell you is that you have to add lemon juice, be it fresh lemon juice is best, squoze lemon, or you can use the other kind that you, we don't want it to overboil. You can use, you can always stick a spoon on top of your pot and that will stop it from overboiling. But you can use the lemon juice. Oh, let me get that out. The lemon juice that you refrigerate in a jar, in a bottle. So you see how that spoon, I'm just making sure it's working. That's why I slowed down, is doesn't allow your substance to boil over. And I actually turned it up instead of turning it down. Okay, that's why it's doing all this. So I just reduced. And what you have to do, you have to constantly stir because you're using sugar and the sugar will stick to the bottom. So I will come back after this reduces. And it has to boil with me stirring it for a good ½ hour. And maybe a little longer. It might not be that long because I don't have that many strawberries. But I shall return when the jam has reduced. Still not quite ready, but as you can see, it's reducing. Pretty bright red color. The color has come out of it. And then you see this foam around here. So what you actually try and do is reduce it to where the foam actually stirs into the mixture. So I'm not quite there yet, but I just wanted to show you as I go along what's going on here. maybe another 10-15 minutes, and it should be reduced a little more and thickened up, and hopefully this foam that it creates will stir right into and disappear. If not, you can always skim it off, but I'd rather not. It has finally reduced. I'm going to turn the stove off now. And it has taken, I believe I timed it, it's been about 35-40 minutes. So as you can see how thick it is. And as it cools, it will thicken even more. So in the meantime, I've boiled water. And what you do, let me see if I can move the camera or move what I'm doing. I have the half pint containers, mason jars, and I filled them with boiling water, and that's to get the containers hot. And I doubt if this makes 4 of these, but you have 1 or more containers than you think you need, so in case you have an overflow, because this is really not a science and you don't know what it's going to reduce down to. So you just pour your water out, and these mason jars are hot. Ooh, yes, they are hot. Ooh. And you use a ladle, is that how you say that? Let me get that right. And just start to fill your jars up. Ladle. Golly. Of course, I've dripped some. Well, this probably looks like it's only going to make 2 jars. It takes quite a few strawberries to make a lot of jam. And I'm going to fill these up, not quite to the rim. You want to leave just a little air from the top of the jam to the lid. Yeah, it looks like only 2 jars. But I didn't want to waste the strawberries. They were big and juicy. And there's just a little bit left in there, just a tiny bit. And so then you take a wet towel, wet paper towel or towel, and just go around the rim to make sure you don't have any drippings on the rim of the mason jars. Place your lids on. And then tighten them with the band. And that's hot. Yes, that's hot. Tighten it as tight as you can get it. Move these out of the way. And then you just let them cool. And it takes a little while for them to cool, but I think like within a half hour or so, you'll know that this lid is sealed because the middle of this has some type of indentation. You'll hear a little ping, and what that ping is where the middle sucks down, and that's the vacuum that it forms to seal these. Then you can just use them on some toast or some bagel or whatever you want. Store them in the refrigerator And if you want to, if you're not going to use them, well, they'll last a good 6 months, but I've on occasion frozen mine. So, little crafting in the kitchen. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you so much. Maybe you'll make some jam. And I have blueberries. I may be making some blueberry jam soon. Not sure. But if you like the content, if you learned anything, if it was interesting to you, please give me a lot of light going on here. Please give me a thumbs up. Definitely would appreciate it. Hit the like button, leave a comment, and hit the notification bell so you can see what in the world I might have next. Thank you so very kindly. Love you all. Appreciate you all. Peace and blessings. Until next time.